Welcome to Pensacola, Florida. Pensacola is the westernmost city in the Florida Panhandle. Beside its historic charm, gorgeous beaches, award-winning tours and abundant wildlife, it also has a proud military heritage, thanks to the Naval Air Station. In addition to being the cradle of naval aviation, the Pensacola Bay Area is the home to the renowned Blue Angels.
Morning, everybody. We're in Pensacola, Florida. We're just stopped here. We're gonna be in here 3 days, staying in the area and check it out. Came to the Lighthouse Museum here. It's on the base here.
It's a military Air Force base.
Air Force base. Is it Air Force?
I think it is.
Anyways.
Oh, maybe you're right. Maybe it is Navy.
Maybe, I don't know.
I'll have to check it out.
We'll find out. But we're on the base here. So we're gonna go to the museum, see the lighthouse, and check out the beach in front. So
meet you on the top.
Yep. See you. We
Bye.
go up top the lighthouse.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Bye.
Bye. Here we go.
Coming up.
Coming up.
At the Pensacola Lighthouse, you will be climbing 177 steps to the top of this 1859 lighthouse tower. So, up we go.
Are you counting the steps?
I am. I don't know where I'm on, but they said it's 177 steps.
I don't know.
Just
Right here is 113. So
113, huh?
yeah. And little plaques of people here. You get your name here if you pass out, I think.
Once you make it up to the top of the tower, you will be greeted with stunning views of Pensacola Pass. It is where Pensacola Bay meets the Gulf of Mexico. There is a beach behind the lighthouse. But please remember you are on an active military base, so some of the area was restricted, but we just had to check it out. We have heard that you can find some of the most pristine beaches in the world here. With its crystal clear waters and white sand, they do make the perfect destination.
See.
Okay, go ahead.
Pretty bright out here. We're still at the lighthouse. Came down here to the beach, which is pretty loud, but it's the first time at the Gulf, and so it's kind of interesting. The sand here is really fine and real bright, white. Kind of reminds me of White Sands, New Mexico sand.
Yeah, it is pretty.
It is. It's pretty. It's really real fine sand. So
Now we are on the base, so there is restrictions.
Yeah, well, just dog restrictions.
You can't walk too far.
Yeah.
You got to stay within the area over here. So.
Anyways, we're gonna go over and check out the fort over here that's on this base, and they got an air museum. So we'll go over there and check it out. All right.
Bye.
See you in a bit.
So when you pay for your ticket to climb the Pensacola Lighthouse and Maritime Museum, you also get to go to the National Naval Aviation Museum, which is offered to you free admission. This museum is one of the largest aviation museums in the world. Whether you are a history buff or an aviation enthusiast, or just simply looking for a fascinating and educational experience, a visit to this museum is a must. You will get a deep appreciation for the remarkable world of naval aviation. You will see more than 4,000 artifacts and over 150 beautifully restored aircraft representing the Navy, Marine Corps, and Coast Guard aviation. You can experience the thrill of flight in their flight simulators. And one of the unique attractions is its affiliation with the Blue Angels, the U.S. Navy's elite flight demonstration squadron. And we heard that if you visit at the right time, you may have the privilege of witnessing practice by the Blue Angels just above the museum, as this is their home base. Fort Pickens was designed and constructed to defend Pensacola Bay and the Pensacola Navy Yard from foreign attacks. Its purpose would reach beyond the physical boundaries of the Gulf frontier.
You see where all the cannons sat along here. can swing them around, like this one down here. This is Fort Pickens, Florida here. The sun's going down, it's kind of getting hard to get a good picture. Yeah, it sits there, and then they can aim it by swinging this back and forth. Yeah.
So each one of those have pegs. They had this.
Yes. Yeah, yeah, it'd be a lot of cannons right there.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Wow. Like 10 of them. Just 11. Wow, it's a lot of them.
Had to be very loud.
Yes, very loud.
With 5 walls, the cannons were installed at Fort Pickens, could fire in all points of the compass. These cannons, and the artillerymen's loading and firing them, received protection by a wall in front of them but had no overhead protection. Fort Pickens, with 2 largest walls, fronted the shipping channel. Together the channel walls could mount 112 cannons. The north wall, fronting Pensacola Bay, could mount 26 cannons. The east wall, fronting the island, could mount 32 cannons. And the wall fronting the Gulf, the south side, could mount 35 cannons. Throughout its history, different quantities and different types of cannons have been installed inside this fort. Guns and howitzers sat on carriages made of wood or cast iron. Carriages secured cannons to the fort and provided a pivot to point the cannon in different directions. Mortars sat on beds that rested on wooden platforms on the ground. Fort Pickens had permanent rooms designed for storing their black powder. These large brick rooms were lined with wood to absorb moisture and secured with heavy doors to prevent theft or tampering. If these were filled today, Fort Pickens had enough space to store 272,600 pounds of black powder.
A lot of cannons. There must be an abundance of them back then. There's a lot of cannons.
The reverse arch, this is to support the weight of the fort on sand. Notice that this arch is really a double arch, above and below the floor of this gun chamber. Fort Pickens was designed and constructed to defend Pensacola Bay and the Pensacola Navy Yard from foreign attacks. At the time of its completion, Fort Pickens was the largest brick structure on the Gulf of Mexico. So despite repeated Confederate threats, Fort Pickens remained one of only 4 southern forts to stay in Union hands throughout the American Civil War. Toward the end of the 19th century, Fort Pickens' most famous occupant was Geronimo.
So we're finishing up Fort Pickens. This is the area. I guess we're at another bunker. I guess I'll call it that. It's where all the guns come off. They protected the Gulf, entering of the Gulf. Anyway, that's it. It's kind of getting cold. I think it's almost like 4:30. We thought we'd grab a sunset. Not much, well, you can't tell on here, but it was not bad. But it's getting cold, so we're heading back to the rig and just calling it a day. We'll talk to you later. Bye.